What's going on, people? It's GBP baby. Welcome to another video. It's currently 9:17 p.m. on Wednesday the 14th of June 2023. So today we had FOMC. As you can see, we had quite a big reaction today. Bear with me, my OBS software is just lagging a little bit. Let me try and get this sorted real quick. Right, so hopefully that's a bit better now. So you can see during FOMC we wicked down we traded down quite aggressively. We traded past this massive fair value gap, down below this bullish order block, and then we traded into a 4-hour fair value gap resting right here. So I'll just mark that out for us now. And you can see our price quickly left that range, and since then we've been consolidating as per usual. Now we do still have quite a few more news releases this week, so I am expecting more volatility. In terms of where prices actually go, I wouldn't say I'm the most secure in my expectations. I think I do want to see higher prices, to be honest. I'd like to see these relative equal lows equal highs get taken. You can see that we consolidated for quite a while between 9:45 right up to FOMC, so I'm going to mark that out because it seems like those are likely to get targeted next for buy side liquidity, that is. And I'll just drag that out into tomorrow, which is Thursday. But it was nice to see how we traded up into our buy side liquidity. If you watched yesterday's video, you'll see that I had them marked out as targets, and it's nice to see that we traded up into there. But yeah, so I'm going to mark out where I want to see price find resistance. So you can see we traded through this massive 4-hour fair value gap during FOMC, but we wicked right back up. So I'm going to mark this out. I want to see how price treats this fair value gap. It shouldn't trade. I don't really want to see it close below here. That would suggest something else to me if that was to happen. So I'm going to mark out the 50% level of this fair value gap, and I want to see how price treats the levels within inside it. Because if price remains above the 50% level into tomorrow, I'd like to see this as a potential buying area. So I will be marking out the 50% level here, and I'll also mark out the 25% level as well, because it's interesting to see how price treats those levels before leaving the range. And I am going to have a deeper look into how price actually made its way up to these levels today, because it was quite interesting how we found support within the weekly. This massive yellow box, by the way, is a weekly fair value gap. But I'll drop down to the 5 minutes soon, and we'll be able to have a closer look at the London session, specifically. So now I have the first quarter, second quarter marked out, and then we've got the bottom half. I don't want to see price close below this second half. Obviously we still got, I'm not sure how long we have left on this 4-hour candle, but you can see that we're clearly consolidated. We have a fair value gap resting up there, and you can see we're still staying within this range here. So until tomorrow, I'm going to pretty much stay out of that. However, again, ideally I'd like to see this buy side liquidity get tagged and see us trade to this red line up here. Now this red line is delineating the 50% point off, the 50% consequent encroachment off the weekly fair value gap. I'll show you that now. So I've marked out the weekly fair value gap that we've just traded deeper into, and this is the 50% level of that. The blue line delineates the 25% level of that, so I'd like to see price reach up into there. You'll also notice that we've traded through this bearish order block, and if I mark that out, so I'll make it black. If I mark that out, that should now act as a bullish order block because it was bearish, and then we traded through it aggressively, meaning that if price is to come down to these levels, it should act as bullishness. So if we drop down now back to the 4-hour, you can see how when price touched it here today, we bounced away from it. So if we are to trail back down here, we should be able to buy from this area. So I am also going to mark out this fair value gap, since that's what we traded to as well. But again, in terms of probability and the way that price is ranging right now, I'm not really going to say so much, because it's not the best of price action, especially after FOMC, understandably. So I'm going to drop down to the 5 minute, and then after we can look at Dixie and see how that traded today. And I'm going to mark out the London session, and I'm going to mark out the London session. I'm also going to get rid of this just so that it's more clear for us. My London sessions I like to mark out in orange, and I like to use a dashed line. If you watch my backtesting videos, you'll know about that. and I do suggest you guys go check that out. So you can see London, we consolidated, we hit about 325 AM and we start to work our way up, and then we trade into the weekly fair value gap. As soon as we trade into the weekly fair value gap, you can see our price aggressively, this is after London session, we aggressively push through. So when it comes to levels like these, you can see how the candles respect the levels. Let me get rid of this for a second. So this yellow box is the low, is the open of that weekly fair value gap. You see our price respects it, turns around, offers us an entry here, and then we push aggressively through it, creating a fair value gap, and then you can see we touch it and then we leave it. So now I'm not really that's again another reason why for price to come back down into these levels, especially after we've already come down during FOMC, I don't see it as very likely, but there's buy side liquidity resting there and there's sell side liquidity resting here. So in all fairness, you know, the market is going to tag what it wants, isn't it? So but you can hear how, like, what's the word, uncertain I am about the conditions right now, because obviously because of FOMC. So I'm not going to say too much, but I do think it's important to note that markets do tend to get much more consolidated after FOMC. So I'm going to stay away from it. Overall, I want to see higher prices. Whether it comes down and takes out sell side liquidity first, that's another question for another day. But my bias is bullish. I want to see buy side get taken, and I want to see us trade into this level here. So I'm going to quickly jump into Dixie. And this is similar. You can see how Dixie traded down into this bullish order block here, and then we turned away. There's also a fair value gap down here, but I am expecting Dixie to actually trade lower into this, hence my bias for a bullish GBP USD. Let's make the color of that blue. If we drop down to the 4 hour, we'll see that, of course, price turned away from here, traded back up into this bearish order block that created the move in the first place. So I'd expect a little bit of consolidation, and I'd like to see us trade again deeper into this blue fair value gap I just marked out. So yeah, that's pretty much everything, to be honest. I'm still bullish, of course. We've been moving up all week now. From Monday, created the low by the looks of things, and then we started trading higher. Found support on top of this bearish, now turned bullish order block. Traded up again, traded back down to this bullish order block. So I'd expect again another move higher, again into the buy side liquidity, into this level, and then we can see what happens for Friday. So this is Thursday. I'm just going to mark out Friday's range, daily range, and then that should take us to Sunday. And yeah, that's pretty much everything, guys. Thanks for watching. This has been GBP baby. Let me remark out my fair value gap. What I'd recommend you guys do, just keep an eye on this fair value gap to see how price treats the levels. If we do start trading lower inside of it, it's likely we are going to come into this sell side liquidity. But if we stay above the 50% level, I'd like to think that we'd push straight up into the buy side liquidity, and this sell side resting here will probably get taken next week or in the future. Thanks for watching, people. This has been GBP baby, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.